So first of all, I would like to say congrats to to all of you, but especially to the people that stayed 2 hours more yesterday. It's good from our side to see your interest in OSM and so on. Uh, I just wanted to say that, and I hope that today we won't have as that many issues as yesterday. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Perfect. So I'm basically going to explain day 2 PNF operations. As Gianpietro said, you have just deployed or added a PDU to your OSM instance, so the OSM instance knows about that PNF. And one thing that we are going to do is in the network service, we are going to deploy a proxy charm to configure the PDU or the PNF. And we will do that using actions. So first of all, what we are going to do is we are going to copy the descriptors to our home directory. I will paste the command in the Slack and also in the chat. Okay, so make sure that you do that before doing anything else. Okay. Okay, so basically this is our use case for now. I explained yesterday that there are two kinds of charms, the proxy charms and the native charms. The native charms are used when we can modify the workload, let's say when we can install things inside the workload and manage the workload from inside. But in this case, the PNF is supposed to be a physical router. In this case, it's virtual, but we are treating it as a PNF, as a physical appliance. So we cannot install the Python code, the proxy charm code inside the PNF. So that's why we are using a proxy charm for configure for operating the workload. So this is the thing that we are going to implement, this part, the physical router. And basically, for the router, we are using a software that is the BIOS router, basically. And as I said, this will be a proxy charm, and it will only have one action that will be configure remote. And that will, in that action, we will specify the IP to which we want to let access through the BIOS router. Okay, this is how the VMF configuration looks like. As yesterday, well, it's pretty similar of what we did yesterday for the Magma virtual EPC charm. Basically, we specify the charm name here. Then we specify the initial config primitives, the day one primitives. In this case, we only need the config one that is needed for all proxy charms to let the proxy charm know which username it should use to SSH the VM or in this case the PNF, the SSH hostname and so on. Okay, and in this case the password too. And then in config primitive we show there or we state the list of day 2 primitives or day 2 actions that we want to expose. and basically is the configure remote that only takes the Magma IP address. Okay, so now we need to dive into the code, but we don't have that much time, so I'm not going to explain the details of the charm because it's basically the same as or it's pretty similar as the one that we did yesterday. You can feel free to look the code afterwards, and if you have any doubts understanding it, please let me know through Slack, and I will be glad to help. Okay, but right now what we are going to do is well, I'm going to share my screen again. Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I expect all of you to have added the PDU to OSM. I see that 11 people did it. Okay, so that's good. And if you do OSM-NS list, okay, you should see the Magma orchestrator that we prepared for you yesterday. Okay, it should be working. We tested it, so you should see that. If you don't see it, please tell us your tenant number in the chat, and maybe Gian Pietro can help you setting up the Magma orchestrator. But for the ones that have the Magma orchestrator, please copy the examples and move to the HD3 folder with the examples, and you will see the build command. Okay, that command has several, or that's several steps. Okay, and basically it should have solved all the issues that yesterday's script had. So don't worry, this time it should be working for you. Okay, so basically what we are doing here is we are deleting the existing descriptors with these three commands. We are building them and pushing to OSM again. Okay, we are generating the parameters for the instantiation of the VNF, the VNF with the Magma orchestrator IP. This is the corrected right now, and we also are making sure that there's an SSH key, an existing SSH key, so you won't face any issues. And then we are instantiating with this command the network service. Okay, basically that. So feel free to execute the command, the build this script. Okay. Okay. Okay, so if you have any problems, let me know, and I will try to help you. You can put your tenant number in the chat, and we can see if there's something wrong. Okay, so now I'm going to show the video status with this command to see the process. Okay. Okay, I see that tenant 16 has some issues. Okay.
I'm taking 19 now, then I'll go to 5 and then 16.
Okay.
Oh, Terje, you have no PDU of type gateway at Beam account. So check your PDU. If you do a PDU show of the PDU you created or PDU list first, you should see that it needs to be type gateway and the Beam account ID should be that ID that appears in the error message.
Okay, these are the two proxy charms. This one we saw it yesterday, the Magma Gateway, and this is the proxy charm for the BIOS router. Okay, and we see here that is installing Ansible, and that's because the configuration is done via Ansible. So we are installing Ansible in the charm, so it can yeah, basically configure the router. Okay, let's wait. Are you progressing? Um, okay, that looks good. Yeah, that's fine. The error that Amber is having is because you didn't have the gateway before.
Okay.
But don't worry, it looks good.
Okay. So the build is in progress.
Okay, perfect.
David, tenant 8, I'm having these errors. I just pasted. Is not the name of the model or controller, error opening, API connection, etc. I can paste it again in the chat.
Okay. Okay, let me. I'm going to SSH here. Okay. Tenant 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, it was basically because as we are all instantiating at the same time, maybe the Juju model was waiting a bit for the let's say well, maybe the model wasn't created yet. So basically, you were having issues because of that. Now I have switched to the model, and you can see this, that it's in progress and everything is fine. Okay.
Sorry, I did not get that. Sorry, I did not get that.
Okay, so the script that you executed waits 20 seconds until for the
Okay.
model to exist and to switch to that model. So the problem is that since we all are instantiating at the same time, the model wasn't ready in 20 seconds. It took a bit more. So that's why we were doing Juju switch here, and we weren't changing to the model, so those two commands were failing. It's just because of that. But if you see your model status looks good. It's progressing and doing stuff. Okay.
Okay.
So just see that and watch that, and you need to end up with this same status as me. Okay.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. So as we can see, the registered, well, the inode B is registered. Okay, so this is the thing that we saw yesterday. And if you are registered here, it means that the relation had worked fine. So if you didn't have the in the spreadsheet, if you didn't have checked as yes the EPC deployment with charms and relations, and you got to this state, you can feel free to put a yes in that column because it's basically what has happened here. Okay, so and please let me know in the chat, for example, if you have reached to this state that that I'm showing. Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay, so for all of you that have reached to, okay, I see the error. Okay, for all of you that are in this state, okay, in this state, please
I'm getting this error actually, David, which I shared on this 400 bad request.
okay,
Okay, I need to change the account, I think.
okay, you are getting the bad request error. I think that's because you haven't add properly the PDU, right? Isn't that right, Gian Pietro?
Yeah, yeah.
No, I am
I'm
doing OSM PDU list, it is showing me.
let's run a OSM PDU show of your PDU. And
Yeah, it shows.
what's the DIM ID that it says there?
Sorry, 10 and 50, it shows router 01 and there's a management IP address and the ID and type gateway. I can see OSM PDU
Okay,
list, there is a router 0.
yeah, I will access your tenants, which is which one? 50?
50, 50.
When I check the Juju status, it shows the status is blocked. Is that fine?
Yes, maybe you just need to wait a bit more.
Okay, I can see the PDU list though, but the A gateway is still building and initiating.
Yeah, that's normal. I think that's normal. Let's give me your tenant number.
6.
Okay. And for all of you that have finished or that are in this same UU status as me, you can execute the attach user emulator command. Okay, this one that what basically does is to execute the NS action, so a network service action in your I'm hearing myself in your inode B chunk. So basically, it will attach the user. Can you please mute? I don't know who is that. Well, okay. So basically, no, it's better. Okay, so basically, this will execute the action in the inode B to attach the user emulator to the inode B. Okay. Yeah, using the data of the test subscriber that the Magma gateway created. Okay, so just execute the command. Okay. Let me see here. Okay, for tenant 6, I see the network service in building state, and okay, did you status is not working, Gian Pietro? I don't know if the instance of OSM is up or not.
In your tenant? Which
No,
tenant?
in mine is working, but in tenant 6 it's not.
Okay, let me check.
It was working 5 minutes back. Now I think it is just hung.
Same for tenant 2. It's not displaying now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the first instance of OSM. Okay. If you have executed the action of attacking the emulator, let me know in the chat, please. I think Amber getting some echo from my.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't worry. Just mute when you are not talking, and that's fine.
David, we still got exporters, right? I think that exporters are taking a lot of resources. Forgot to.
Oh, maybe it's that.
I will terminate them. Okay. Just manually, no problem.
Yeah, okay. I see tenant 6 that well, everything is good, but the eNode B VM hasn't started yet, and that's why the charm for the eNode B is not appearing here yet. It might be because of the lack of resources in the Vim, or just that it's taking more
Which
than it
tenant?
should. Tenant 6.
Okay, let's check.
Did you check on tenant 50, Gyanapatru?
Your PDU, right? We'll check it right away because that's faster to check. So
I added
OSM
Vim account in the PDU YAML, so people are telling I need to enter Vim ID.
yeah, you need to put the ID. So you need to delete it and recreate it with the ID. Is that okay?
PDU.YAML is in Magma. Yeah.
Okay. PDU.YAML. Yeah, you need to change that for the IMID.
So params dot the ML file also we should change with the orchestrator IP, right? That also is required.
Okay.
Are you changing it or shall I change?
You want me to change it?
I need to add in the PDU.YAML in the Vim accounts, I need to add Vim ID.
Yes, instead of etc OpenStack 50, you need to put the ID, which is in the OSM bin list command. Otherwise, you can try from the dashboard, and it should work as well.
Okay.
But first of all, delete the PDU you have because it will try to be used. So remove that with OSM PDU delete.
Okay, I see for tenant 46, the magma instance is broken. And that is because
Magma Orchestrator is broken?
yeah, it was broken and there was a timeout.
Which tenant, sorry?
In 46.
46. Which one was broken?
Tenant 46.
Yes, but the VM or the CNF?
I think I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think I'm going to delete the network service and you can then instantiate again. Okay. Okay.
What do you want me to check for us in Hackfest 16? Did you already try what I shared?
Hello.
It is correct. Ah, okay. Yes, that's correct. Wait, okay.
Okay. For tenant 46, yeah, I think there's an issue deleting the network service. Maybe the Kubernetes is having resource problems, right, Gian Pietro?
No, 1046, the orchestrator?
No, when I removed the network service, it failed deleting the Helm chart.
Ah, okay. So I will remove that manually. The network service of the VNF.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yes, because I deleted them manually, all of them. Can you remove that VNF configuration from your example so that future VNFs do not instantiate a new execution environment? I mean, except the relations, just the execution environment and the primitive.
Oh, you need to. You want me to change the example to remove
Yes.
the. Okay. Yes, I
See,
can do that.
that will be better, safer.
I have a problem with attaching the UE tenant number 35.
35, 55?
35. 5.
Tenant 55.
No, 35.
35. Okay.
Yeah, 35.
Okay. You have a problem attaching the UE, you said?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, you have registered your eNote B, and you had what kind of problems you had when attaching?
It gives a problem with the action name.
With the action name?
Yes.
Maybe you are running. Okay, can I try to run it?
Yes, please.
Action name. Oh, okay. So maybe you're using the wrong quotes. Sometimes the quotes have problems. Sometimes there are garbage characters between spaces. MS action.
When I built it, the new build, it is gateway name is not 02. It is something totally
Oh,
random.
you are missing a space between SRSLT BDU and action name. That's
Oh,
why.
I see. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, Pietro, I have updated the descriptor to remove the Helm chart.
Great, thanks.
Okay. Okay. Can anyone say in the chat if they have finished or if they succeed deploying the network service and also executing the attached user emulator action?
Srinivasan, can you check tenant 2?
Someone?
No, David. In fact, my NS list shows broken, and so I'm redoing the commands. Right, I'm deleting the network service, rerunning build.sh, and once that would come okay, I'll attach UE. Right, this would be the process.
Yes. So if you're, so which tenant are you?
I'm tenant 8. So my network service showed a broken status. Tenant 8.
Okay, yeah, you need to redeploy, I think, because
Okay.
if the tenant is, or if the network service is broken, yeah. Okay, let me
Try
fix this.
Yeah, try terminating it twice, but it seems to be stuck.
No worries, no worries. Okay, just one sec. Okay, now. Okay, tenant 8, you can redeploy if you want. But let me do one thing. I'm going to remove the its folder and I'm going to copy it again without the Helm chart because that's taking too many resources.
So, okay. So you're removing the Helm chart from the VNFD, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks. I'll do take it from here. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
David, how can we copy that new folder to tenant 2 and 6 as well? Because they would want to retry.
After the Juju status is active, then what do we need to do? We need to connect to Magma or the PNF?
No, you need to execute this command, okay? You can see the content of that script. Basically, it's one OSM-NS action that it will attach the user emulator to the inode B. Once you do that, I'm going to show the next step, which is the last one, okay? Okay, so first, please execute that, and then the last step is this. You have to do I'm going to be copying the commands in the chat. So you need to do OSM BNF list, okay? And you need to get the ID, the BNF ID of the Magma A gateway and SRS LTE, okay? So you get that ID, and you need to do OSM VNF show of that ID, and this basically will show you some data from the VNF, okay? And I would recommend you to put -- literal, okay, like this. In my case, the command is this, but the ID might be different in your case. Okay, I'm pasting the command in the chat, okay? And you will see something like this, some YAMLs.
Okay.
Okay, so when you do that, you will see that this part, okay? In the VDU, in the Magma Gateway VDU, there are some interfaces, okay? 3 or 4, I think. And the IP that we want is the IP from the SDI interface. So it's this one, okay? In my case, it's that one. In your case, should be something like this.
Okay.
Okay. So get that IP, okay, and then you need to execute this action. Let me paste it. Okay. Okay, you need to execute this command, but the IP will be different in your case. So change it to the correspondent IP. Okay.
Okay.
But before executing the action, I'm going to show you something. And with this, I think we should finish to let Dominic start his session. Okay, but the eNodeB and user emulator has this IP, the 172.21, etc., that appears in the UU status. That's the IP of the machine that is in the eNodeB, okay? So if I need to SSH there, okay, I need to SSH there, and I'm going to ping this IP, 8888, okay? I cannot reach anywhere, okay? That's fine. But now I'm going to execute the action. And what this action will do is we'll configure the PNF, the router, to let the traffic flow from this Magma IP address. Okay, so from the virtual EPC. So I'm going to execute the action. And in some seconds, we should see. Okay, we can see here that the configure remote is being executed. Okay, here the action. This can take a few seconds. Okay, now it's done. Okay, it's finished, and the traffic can flow from the user emulator. Okay, let me know if I don't know. I think it was Meta that was talking, right? Let me know if you achieve the same.
Okay.
But basically, this would be all of the session. Amber, is your which tenant are you? 6? Okay. Let me go where you are. Okay. Okay, I'm seeing that is going well in tenant 6. So just wait a bit, and this should move forward.
Yeah, I did a rebuild couple of times. Now it is going into blocked and maintenance state now and then. So not sure what is happening.
Oh, I see. I think that wait a second. Okay, now it's instantiating that other charm. Okay, it looks good. It's slow, maybe because all of us are running at the same time, but it's doing stuff. Okay.
Network service is always building and initiating. It never succeeds. 3-4 times I've tried.
Yes, that's normal because this is still ongoing. But Just wait a second.
Okay, enode B is active now.
Now I've executed the action. So where do we do the SSH? To the enode B IP.
Okay, yeah. If you do UU status, you will see a registered message, and
Yeah, I see that.
here at that level you will see the IP address.
Yes. 172.21.248 series.
Yeah. So go there and SSH with the Ubuntu user.
Okay.
Okay. And now just do a ping to that address. This got stuck here. The BIOS config. I don't know if it's because maybe some connectivity issues installing Ansible. Not sure.
Stuck. Yes. I see some, well, a lot of processes, cloud init, apt, mongo in the machine at the same time.
Yeah, so I've done it. Yeah. It's pinging 8.8.
Okay, so you can update the spreadsheet and put the column as yes in launching PNF with primitive.
David, once the network services come up in the correct state, what would be the next step? Do we run attach ev.sh?
Yes, you need to do attach
Okay.
this command, and after that you need to, okay, you are tenant 6, right?
Tenant 8. I am tenant 8.
Oh, okay, sorry, I'm confused. Sorry. Okay, but tenant 6, this is, this looks a bit better now. So
We should wait for the Magma gateway to be upright still.
yeah, you need to wait until this is registered.
Okay.
And then execute, as I was saying to tenant 8, execute the attach user emulator command. Then you need to get the IP from the Magma, the SGI. Okay, so for that, let me give you a shortcut. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, so execute after that this command. Okay, and get that IP. and then execute this. And then execute that action, which basically in which you have to replace the X with the corresponding number of your IP. Okay.
And before this action, sorry, go ahead, please.
No.
I was just checking, and before this action, we will log into the Magma, right? And then ping 8.8.8, and then after this action, it should start pinging, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yes. So basically, then you can do this command to get okay.
The attach script has the action, right? So we don't have to, we can just directly run the attach UE script.
Sorry?
There is an attach script in the HD3 folder, so we can just invoke that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. As I pasted in the chat, exactly those steps.
Okay.
Okay. To get the IP of the node B or the user emulator, you can execute this. So get IP of user emulator this. Oops, sorry, forget. This, sorry. With that command, you get the IP address of the inode B. Then you need to SSH to that IP. Okay.